Imagine a quiet Puritan town in 1692, where fear turns neighbors into enemies and whispers of witchcraft lead to a chilling series of trials. This is the story of the Salem Witch Trials, an episode of mass hysteria that forever marked American history. The year was 1692. Salem, a small Puritan settlement in Massachusetts, was a deeply religious and tight-knit community. Governed by strict Puritan beliefs, the townspeople lived under constant fear of sin and eternal damnation. They believed the devil was ever present, lurking in the shadows, waiting to corrupt their souls. This pervasive fear laid the groundwork for one of the darkest chapters in colonial America. It all began in January 1692, when two young girls, Betty Parris, 9, and Abigail Williams, 11, the daughter and niece of Reverend Samuel Parris, began behaving strangely. They experienced violent fits, uncontrollable screaming, and strange contortions of their bodies. The local doctor, unable to find a medical explanation, declared the cause to be witchcraft. Word of the girls' affliction spread quickly, and other young women in Salem began exhibiting similar symptoms, including Ann Putnam Jr., Mercy Lewis, and Mary Walcott. The community descended into panic, convinced that witches were working with the devil to harm them. Under pressure to explain their behavior, the girls named several women in the community as witches. The first three accused were 1. Tituba, a Caribbean slave of Reverend Parris, who was seen as an outsider. 2. Sarah Good, a homeless beggar with a bad reputation. 3. Sarah Osborne, an elderly woman who had been involved in a legal dispute. These women were easy targets due to their marginalized status in society. They were brought before local magistrates for questioning, and the trials began. The accused were subjected to intense interrogation. Under duress, Tituba confessed to practicing witchcraft, but also claimed there were others in the town working alongside her. Her confession fueled the hysteria, and more names were brought forward. The Puritans believed that confessing to witchcraft and accusing others could save one's soul, which led to a flurry of accusations. Soon the net widened. Prominent members of the community, including Rebecca Nurse and Martha Corey, were accused. Even Giles Corey, an 81-year-old farmer, was charged. His refusal to plead led to his death by pressing, a gruesome punishment where heavy stones were placed on his chest. Methods of identifying witches. The trials relied on dubious methods to determine guilt, such as spectral evidence, testimonies claiming the accused spirit or specter harmed the victim. Touch test. Victims were said to calm down when touched by their tormentor. Swimming test. Suspected witches were thrown into water. Those who floated were deemed guilty. These methods lacked any real proof, but were enough to convict individuals. Between June and September 1692, 20 people were executed. 19 were hanged on Gallows Hill, and Giles Corey was pressed to death. Most of the accused maintained their innocence until the end, choosing to die rather than confess to lies. In total, over 200 people were accused of witchcraft during the trials. By late 1692, public opinion began to shift. Prominent individuals, including Governor William Phips, began to question the legitimacy of the trials, especially as accusations spread to people of higher social standing. The use of spectral evidence was officially discredited, and the trials were halted. In 1693, Governor Phips pardoned the remaining accused, effectively ending the Salem Witch Trials. However, the damage was done. The Puritan community was left scarred, and the trials became a symbol of the dangers of mass hysteria and religious extremism. The Salem Witch Trials serve as a stark reminder of the consequences of fear, prejudice, and the abuse of power. In 1702, the trials were declared unlawful, and in 1711, the colony passed a bill restoring the rights and good names of the accused. Restitutions were paid to the families of those who were executed, though it could never undo the harm. Today, Salem stands as a historical site, attracting visitors from around the world. The trials are commemorated as a lesson in tolerance and the importance of due process. The Salem Witch Trials are more than just a dark chapter in history. They are a cautionary tale about the destructive power of fear. In the quiet town of Salem, paranoia turned ordinary lives into extraordinary nightmares, leaving behind a legacy that still resonates today.